Hi. My name is Bernie Madoff. Some of you might have heard of me on the news. Most of you only know that I stole a bunch of money. But I doubt that most of you understand what really went down. And I very highly doubt that any of you really realize the full scope and reach of what I did. I doubt that most of you even know how much money that I stole was. After keeping this secret from everyone for so long, it feels good to be able to talk about what I did. And I have no regrets. I feel good about what I did. A real sense of pride, I tell you. You don't know it yet. But I might just be the best thing to happen to the world in a long time. And I don't say that because I did something bad. I say it because for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. And I have been very very bad. Let me first talk about how much I stole. It was about $65 billion. Yes, that is billions with a B. Now I'm going to tell you about how I pulled it off. And maybe more importantly, why I was never caught. That's right. I was never caught. I actually had to turn myself in to expose what I did. The SEC certainly was not going to do a damn thing. On December 10th of 2008, I told my sons that I had decided to pay several $1 million in bonuses 2 months earlier than scheduled. Mark and Andrew demanded to know how I could pay bonuses if I could not afford to pay investors.
So let me get this straight, yeah. You would be paying out bonuses, even though the company was in the toilet. That sounds just like a bunch of banks and car companies that I have heard of recently.
Indeed. And some people will ask, how can you give out bonuses when the company failed? And my reply to that is, that no, it did not fail. It just depends on your perspective. Our only goal is to make money for us. Not you. And therefore we did your job so well that we deserve those bonuses. Okay, so now let me tell you about how I did it. It's very simple where you really think about it. All you really need to make it work is two main factors. One is that you need to have new investors always handing money over to me. And the second factor is that you don't let anyone look at your books. To be able to actually look at the numbers. And then the ball is off and running. You leave the investors having to trust you on your word. And if any of them get too suspicious and ask for their money back, there is enough money in my pile to be able to give them all of their money. As long as not too many of them asked for the money all at once.
I think that I'm starting to see how this fraud works.
Okay, now for the really good part. Why wasn't I caught? There were investigations on me ever since 1999. So some might ask, why didn't the SEC do anything about it?
Yeah, that is a fair question to ask. Why didn't the SEC do the job that it is there to do? That is their job, right?
Well, sort of. But not really. They're actually just a front operation for the government and the banks. The real reason that the SEC said not do anything about me is because they found themselves looking into a mirror. They realized that I was doing the exact same thing that the government and banks do. Indeed, but instead of calling the people that give them money investors, they call the people taxpayers. And instead of calling it Bernard L. Madoff Investment Securities LLC, they call it the Federal Reserve Bank. But the same thing happens at a much grander scale. You have your steady flow of money coming in from taxes. And nobody is allowed to look at the books to see if the numbers add up.
Yes, now I'm starting to see the light.
After they have this money, you are just supposed to accept the fact that you have no choice but to trust them. The SEC did not want people to know how I did it all of these years. Because it blows their cover. It is the exact same thing. You can see it all around you. Can't you? The banks collapse. And they give all of the CEOs our bonuses and then stick you with the bill.
And when I can't pay the bill, they come and kick me out of my home and steal the properties by buying them with the money that they have stolen and bonuses.
Yes, exactly. The only real difference is that instead of trying to hide the fact that the numbers don't add up and will never add up, the government comes right out and shows you the national dead clock and tells you, yes, that is how it is supposed to be. The people in a debt that can never be paid off. Because that is how the system is designed to work.